Hey everyone, this is your favorite radio host, your only radio host and favorite girl, of course, Corinne Lafont, broadcasting to you from the lovely island of Trinidad and Tobago in the Caribbean on Between the Lines. And, I always start my show off with gratitude or thankfulness, as some people will say. And I am just so ecstatic, happy, excited to be here. To be here meaning alive, breathing, seeing all my faculties intact. Even if I lose some, I'm still thankful. I am seeing the beauty of the world. I mean, it's just awesome to be alive. It's just awesome to witness everything, to experience everything that the day has in store for me. I am just so excited. It doesn't matter what comes at me. I am so ready because I know another day is going to come by. Just like how, night turns into day turns into night. Another day is going to come by, and I'll be saying, I am so thankful to be here another day. So, yeah, it's great to be here. And it's great to have my beautiful guest here. She has a whole lot of hair. Yeah, I had to mention that. She has a whole lot of hair. And if you notice the light changing a bit, it's her hair that's doing it. Okay. And on top of that, her name is Christine Christina. So it's the hair and the name. Christine Christina. That's a double whammy there. Who names their child Christine Christina?
My mother.
Right? It's like Christine twice. So when she's calling you, she's like, Christine Christina? No. Oh my God. And not to
I've
make
had comments about my name my entire life.
You would, and you will always get it. You will always get it, Christine.
You won't forget me.
No, for sure, for sure, for sure. Let me tell you a bit about Christina with a lot of hair. So Christine is an author and licensed esthetician. I hope I pronounced that properly before I bite my tongue. Whose passion is to help women see themselves through God's perspective. Isn't that awesome? She worked, and hold on, before I go on any further, she's an
Esthetician.
esthetician. Okay. And she's helping women to see themselves through God's perspective. And God only sees beauty.
That's correct.
He only creates beautiful things. Nothing to him is ugly. And he creates perfection. So isn't it wonderful that she's in that industry? She worked in the beauty industry and successfully owned a private aesthetic practice. I pronounced that pretty well.
You did.
Yes. Her recent book, When Life Unravels, allows her to speak to women with in-depth knowledge about navigating life's ups and downs. Yes, the valleys and the hills. It's her passion to help people perform beyond ordinary to unstoppable. And we're going to find out why you need to be unstoppable and be extraordinary. Yeah. So welcome, Christina.
Thank you, Corinne. I am thrilled to be here. And let me just say, I loved your introduction that you started the interview with saying how you are grateful and that you see beauty and that you're ready for what life throws at you. That's unstoppable. I loved that. What a great way to start.
That's how I always start my show. That's how I live my life. I'm like, bring it on. Bring it.
Well, it will come, so that's a good way to start it.
Yeah. And I think when I say bring it, it's like, oh, I didn't think that she would be really ready, so I'll wait. So instead of anything negative coming at me, it just doesn't bother. It's like, oh, she just took all the joy out of it. So, but whether or not, I'm just ready. I just roll with the punches and laugh at everything. I'm like,
well, that's a great attitude because the punches will come, and so if you're ready for them. You don't have to battle one.
Yeah, and I just enjoy everything that comes good. I don't really say bad. I'm changing that perspective. I think, and I believe that everything is for a lesson. Everything is to teach you. We're in a school of life. We're constantly in school. We think when we go to school is, the traditional school. We go to school, we come home, Life is a school, and every day you're learning something. And I think, what people call it, school of hard knocks.
Yes.
They term it like that, literally hard knocks. But I don't like to see it as negative, because when you say hard knocks, it seems like it's all a battle. It's also always a struggle. It's always put you down, negative. No. There are joyous moments, and I see joyous moments in everything.
that just so leads us into what we're going to talk about, because that's exactly, when I wrote my book, When Life Unravels, because it will unravel.
Oh
Those
yeah,
punches will come. The school of hard knocks will come, and some classes are going to be harder than others.
of
And
course. And some
that's
you're going to
how
fail,
we handle that
and
is what
some you're
makes us
going to,
unstoppable.
yeah, and some classes you're going to fail. Let's call it fail for now. You're not going to be as great as in some other classes. Just like how some people will do well in languages, but you give them maths, and so on, they just can't perform.
Mm-hmm.
It's a struggle. It's not that they can't perform. Let me change that. It's just they're not as equipped, let's say, to be
Yes.
able to handle that.
Yes.
And it's all about being equipped. Yeah.
Yes, but the interesting thing is when you fail that class, you have to take it over again. God
Yeah.
doesn't promote you to the next class until you pass that one. And the
Oh
quicker we
my.
learn that, the quicker we'll be open to passing that test.
Well, I
That's
love
one
I
of the
love
things
how you
I learned.
say that. I love how you said that because that is exactly what I tell people. When we keep attracting certain things into our lives and we're like, why does this keep happening to me? Why this?
Mm-hmm.
Why that? You need to really understand it's you,
Mm-hmm.
not anybody else. It's you. You're not learning the lesson. So when you're looking outside for to blame somebody, Christine, you're blaming Christina, you're blaming Corrine. I mean, oh, and we're all C's. Imagine that. So,
Yes, I
right?
get to blame myself twice because I'm named twice.
That's right. That's right. And then you could call Corrine name and all that too. And say Corrine, Christina, and Christina. You blame everybody else. And you're not looking at yourself and say, hold up, hold up. I'm the common denominator here. This keeps
That's
happening to
exactly
me.
right.
I'm the common denominator.
It's
And so,
important to be introspective enough to not be afraid to examine your life, to see what your role was and the part you played in the things that happened to you.
but nobody does that, Christine. Who wants to
That's
take responsibility for that? Who wants to, be accountable, blame themselves? Nobody's doing that. It's always somebody else. It's always something else.
but those people go through life and, like as you said, will repeat the same things.
Hmm.
So I rather say, okay, what's my part in this and what can I learn? And I talk about that in the book, how when after my life unraveled, one day I heard a voice, and I don't know if it was an audible voice of God or the preacher on the radio, but I heard this thing, and it said, I tipped the boat over because you
Hmm.
wouldn't get out on your own.
Hmm.
And I said, God, what does that mean? And sometimes because I didn't want to look and see what was going on,
Hmm.
the boat tipped over. And then I said, okay, this was so painful and I never want to repeat that lesson. What can I learn from that? And that's where my journey began.
Yeah. When you said tip the boat over, it come just like what's that guy's name that he had to throw over the boat in the Bible?
Oh, Jonah.
Jonah. Yeah,
Yes,
he
I
had
have
to
a whole
throw
chapter on Jonah in my book, and the whole chapter talks about while in the belly.
the.
What did Jonah learn while he was in the belly of the whale, where it was the darkest, where it was unfamiliar,
Oh
where
wow.
he was alone? What did he learn? He learned to cry out to God. He learned to ask forgiveness. He learned to say, oh my gosh, I'm in this belly because I didn't want to listen. I was in this belly because I made the wrong choices.
Hmm.
But in order to get out of the belly, Jonah had to repent and ask God to help him. So I have a whole chapter. It's one of my favorite chapters in the
Yeah,
book.
he had to pitch you out of the boat, kick you out,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
because you were causing disruption. Because
Yes.
being on that boat with all the other sailors and fishermen and whoever, they were sailing along very nicely before Jonah jumped on that boat.
That's right.
You know, and they were like, no, 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 this sea is never angry when we're normally sailing. This boat never rocks like this. Who the hell is on this boat
That's
that's, get,
exactly
that's,
right.
getting,
It's
go- that's
exactly right.
getting God angry? We don't have this
Mhm.
problem. We don't have
Yes.
this problem.
Yeah. And, one of the things that God showed me through my unraveling situation was that when I take the things that don't belong in the boat, the things that weighed me down, then the boat will be smooth sailing. But if I keep bringing in the boat with me all my problems, and that boat is going to sink. But when he tipped the boat over, which is almost like an oxymoron, that's when I personally became unsinkable, because I let the lessons that I learned in the boat, when I threw off all the things that were weighing me down, I became unsinkable and unstoppable.
Listen,
So it was a
don't,
great lesson to be introspective and learn what God wants to show you if you're open to it.
Oh my God, Christina. Now I see why your mother named you Christina. Those are those are some serious boulders. I wouldn't even say nuggets that you're throwing at us there, because we haven't even gotten into the depth of the discussion, and look at the amount of things we're sharing just from the Jonah um, story in the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
You're saying that you became unsinkable, and anybody can become unsinkable and unstoppable after being thrown out the boat. How is
That's
that
right.
possible when you're supposed to be drowning?
That's right.
Right?
That's
That
right.
is the point. That is the point. You become unsinkable. You got thrown over into the deep ocean,
Mhm.
into the belly of a whale. Ah, can you imagine? Darkness. You could drown, you can die, you can give up, but yet this is the point where you become unsinkable and unstoppable. Nobody's thinking that in the darkest moments, Christine.
That's for sure.
Nobody's thinking,
When
no.
my life completely unraveled and all I saw around me was dark and despair and hopelessness, there was no way that I ever thought I was going to get out of it. But
Mhm.
by reaching out to God and asking for help and not being afraid to say, God, I'm drowning. Send me a life jacket here. And He will. And that's when all the lessons came. And that's why I was able to write the book and able to say, when I got out of the belly of the whale, what taught me to become unstoppable. It was a great lesson, not without pain, not without heartache, and not without a lot of tears. But
Wow.
but when life unravels,
Hmm.
you can see the bright side of when you look back at it.
Yeah.
And God will
And
put
you
the
and you
pieces.
laugh. You laugh. Imagine that. You laugh and you're like, I made it. How the hell
Yes,
did I make it?
that's for sure.
Right? But you also
Yes.
mentioned when God throws over, tips that boat and you get thrown out into the sea, it's not you alone out in the sea, and all the other things that the baggage, the
Mm-hmm.
wounds, the decisions that you make, everything goes with you. It's a package deal. You think it's just you he throws out the boat, or Jonah? It's everything going. That doesn't make sense. And people are not willing to let go, Christina. People are not willing. They want to hold on. I,
That's
I
right.
have control over this. This is mine. I run things. This is all me. I define myself by this. Everybody knows me for this. you know
Mm-hmm.
this is this is who I am, or so they think, and so they feel. I am not letting go. How the
Yes.
hell can you learn? How the hell can you not attract those things that keeps coming to you? How can you get out of the mire, the darkness that you're in, if you're not willing to let go?
Right. And that's such a good point that you bring out, because when God told me I tipped the boat over because you wouldn't get out on your own, because I didn't want to let go.
No, you're
It was
comfortable.
only in
You're comfortable on the boat, Christine. Hey.
That's right. That's right. And the unknown, it's the unknown when the boat tips over. When you let go, you want the security of having just what you have now. And then when life unravels and that security's gone and I had no choice but to let go. Somebody made that decision for me. Then
Yeah.
what was I going to do with that letting go? Who was I going to hold on to now?
Oh,
And it
there's
had to
no
be you
branch
and
in the
God.
ocean. There's no branch in the ocean.
Yes,
But
that's right.
but God is still merciful. He sent you the whale. He
That's right.
sent you the whale. He didn't leave you to drown and tumble over in the ocean and the tide and everything. He
Mhm.
sent you a whale, so he swallowed you up. He swallowed.
When Peter was walking on the water, he started
Yes,
to drown
I thought of that.
until
Yeah.
until he cried out, Jesus, Lord, help me. And then
Mhm.
he was able to walk on the water.
But he
So,
lost faith. That is what happened. He was good all along. When
mhm,
Jesus told him, "Come," when he saw Jesus walking on the water, he said, "Come," and he was like, "Ooh, okay." He was good, and as soon
yes,
as doubt set in,
that's right.
that's
He
when he
started,
started to sink.
yes,
And he's
yes.
like, "Oh, Jesus, help me, help me!" And Jesus is probably thinking, "What is wrong with you, Peter? You were good all along. I am here. All I ask you to do is step out to meet me. That's pretty easy."
For him
But
it is, but for us it's scary. The unknown can be so frightening,
when
but
you,
we
when,
don't.
yeah, yeah, when I think when he realized that story excites me so much. When he realized that he's actually walking on water, which is unreal, I think it scared him. It scared him that he was actually doing something that Jesus was doing.
Yes,
It's
yes.
amazing. And I'll even, what just popped into my mind, Christine? When we actually achieve something that we desire or want, and we actually get it, It
Mm.
scares the hell out of us. And
Boy, isn't that
then
the
we start
truth?
to doubt, do I really need this? Do I deserve it? And
Is this really you, God?
it's really, yeah, yeah. And Jesus is probably saying, didn't you ask for this? I gave you this. I told you
Hmm.
come and get it. I have it here for you. Here you are. You were so excited to get it, and all of a sudden now you're doubting. So that
Yes.
story is not living in the Bible alone, Christine. It's living every day in our lives. The doubt, the lack of faith, as opposed to saying, hey, I deserve this. This is mine. Jesus told me this is mine, and hell yeah, this is mine.
That's right. That's right. And that's what makes us unstoppable. And
Mhm.
that's what, if women can realize, or even men too, that when life unravels, when things fall apart, when we can't see God's hand in it, we have to rest that He knows, He sees, He understands, He wipes away the tears, and then He makes us unstoppable. And He gives us unlimited grace.
Oh yeah.
And the goodness of God will change your life.
Oh yeah. Unlimited grace. That is what, listen to me, man. Oh my God, Christine. That man is so awesome. I don't
Hmm.
know how much more to love him. I mean, honestly, I love him so much it hurts. I don't know if you understand the pain. I cry when I think of God. I cry when I think of Jesus because of the pain. You say you love somebody. Let's say you're in a relationship with somebody, but it's not, to me, the love for a man and the love for Jesus, when you really start building a relationship, there is such a pain that is in my heart, in my chest, that I feel for Jesus, that
Hmm.
I cry. I'm like, I so love you. I so love you.
Isn't that beautiful? And He so loves you.
Yeah,
It's a mutual
yes,
mutual
I
relationship.
cry. I cry. I cry. And I mean, I'm talking to you now, and it's bringing me to a point, I'm like, God, it's so painful to love you. It's so painful to love you. But we're talking about a being here, Christine, that a lot of people don't even like to mention in their mouths. They don't even want to think. They don't even want people to know that they serve God, or to be public about their relationship about God, or whatever they want to call him or her or it.
Well, then they're missing out, aren't they?
Yes, can I tell you? Can I tell you? They are missing out on a joy that they have no idea. No idea. Oh my God. I want you to share your story, Christine, of this
Okay.
unraveling. Share your story. Go back and tell us
Okay.
how you really, you know,
I would be more
how
than
you
happy
how you
to.
beat how you beat Jonah at his story. You better Jonah's story here today.
Well, I'll try and give you a short version and fill you in how my life unraveled. I am 63 years old. I have
No,
never
this is
been
the point
married.
we cut off the show. No, no, this is the point. No, this is the point we end the show, Christine. Because you're supposed to tell the truth. You must.
Well,
you
thank you for that compliment. It's good
you
skincare.
are not 61. What are you
No,
eating
I'm
to make you so
63.
62? Jesus, what are you doing? It's the
Good
love of God.
skincare, but that's a whole nother show. But anyway, when I was in my 50s, I met the man of my dreams after taking care of my mom for 5 years who had Alzheimer's and being a full time caregiver. I felt God rewarded me for giving me the man of my dreams. And after dating him for 4 years, he finally proposed, and we were planning a big wedding, and we were moving away. And we were having a condo built, and so I sold my home and was in the process of selling my business. And the invitations went out in the mail. I had the beautiful gown. I was having the big Italian wedding, and after selling my house and my business, I get a phone call right before the wedding that he didn't want to marry me, and he spewed out such horrible things about me and hung up the phone. And I was like, what just happened? No house, no business. What do I do? At this point, I was 60 years old. I crawled in the bed and cried, and literally for 4 months laid on the bathroom floor, crying out to God, what do I do? What do I do? How do I get on? I didn't have a reason to get up in the morning. I had no fiance. I had no job, no clients to see, no phone calls to make. I was alone and despaired, and literally laid on the floor and crying to God. And like I said earlier, after 3 days, God said, I tipped the boat over.
Mhm.
And then I said, okay, God, now I have to not only deal with my heartbreak, but I have to find out, what did you protect me from? Why did I have to get out of this boat? And little by little by little, I started just getting into the word, and God would just speak to me. And one of the first verses he gave me was from the book of Corinthians. That's because I was asking God about grief. This was a different grief to me. And the Lord said to me, I allowed you to feel this grief because this grief will lead to repentance. And I took that verse and really started studying it. And God showed me that I compromised who I was to please a man. And I had this man on a pedestal
Yeah.
instead of God,
Yes.
and showed me that the rejection that I found from this man was actually God's way of protecting me from what I thought I needed, protecting me from losing out on eternity because I was in the wrong boat, so to speak, and I was with the wrong person.
Yeah.
And it wasn't an easy lesson. It was very difficult. I mean, the pain was unbearable. I didn't eat for a month, literally,
Wow.
and laid on the floor and cried until little by little I kept a journal, and God started showing me what he was going to do in my life and what he was going to protect me from. And it wasn't that he removed someone from my life, but he removed someone from my future. Because he had something so much better for me and wanted me to have he was a jealous God and wanted me to have the kind of relationship with him and not with an earthly man who was giving me all the wrong things, was giving me earthly gifts and giving me not the kind of love that I deserved. So it was a long lesson. I literally cried for 2.5 years.
Jesus. So
But
let me ask you this.
go ahead.
You cried out to God when you got that phone call and laid on the floor, etc. I mean, I could understand the pain. You were a religious person before that, or you found God at that moment?
No, I was a Christian my whole life, come from a wonderful Christian family. But because my life didn't turn out the way I had thought, and when I found this man, I led him to the Lord, but it was very superficial. And instead of me, like I even say this in the book, when you pick up a dirty rag, it makes you dirty. You don't make it clean. So I took on his persona and became a Sunday morning only Christian because he wanted to sit at the bar and drink. So I wanted to sit at the bar and drink.
Yeah.
Because he wanted us to live together outside of the bounds of marriage, which was, like, in my mind, the biggest sin. But I did it anyway because I wanted to please this man. So I compromised my relationship with the Lord and became a Sunday morning only Christian, but also to the point where I wouldn't even take communion anymore because I knew the lifestyle was not pleasing to the Lord. So when I say the rejection guarded my life for eternity, because then I got my life right with God on the 4 months I was laying on the floor. I repented of what I did, just like Jonah in the belly of the whale. I found the rejection gave me such a wonderful new relationship with my Lord and Savior that it changed my life for the best.
What support system you had during that time?
Well, that's a great question. I was so blessed to have friends. I had a friend from college get on a plane and come and spend a week with me. I had friends who sat with me and told me the truth. This is going to hurt you for a long time. Is not fair, but it happened and you got to get past it. A year from now, things will be different. So thank God for friends. And I have to say, it was the people who I least expected who were there for me. Isn't that something?
Yes, that's what it is. God sends the right people to you. He sends the right people to you. Now, somebody, people have gone through different circumstances. And the first thing they say, especially tragic situations like yours, or probably death of a child and things like that, which I can't imagine because I'm a parent myself. And people hear about things that happen to other people in the world, and you're like, where is the God that you serve? Why would he do such a thing?
Yes.
You in your situation, you could have said, I'm sure it may have crossed your mind, why would God do me something like this? The man of my dreams, the love of my life. What and even blame yourself.
Yes.
What have I done?
Oh, exactly. I took all the blame. It must have been me.
It must have been you. What did you do?
unlovable. And then it
Yes.
brings like all the insecurities that we as women have. I'm
Yeah.
unlovable, I'm unworthy, I'm unqualified.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, it must have been me. How could I have done this? But
Yeah.
I will tell you, I turned to God because I had nothing else. I mean, my life was seemingly over. And
Mm-hmm.
I cried out to God, not God, how could you do this to me? But God, help me. Thank God I did that. He was
Mm-hmm.
all I had. The cover of my book, there's a thread, you
Mm-hmm.
know, when life unraveled, and that was that thread, and that's all I had.
The last thread to hold on to.
Yes. And God was so gracious that he didn't say, well, hey, you turned on me when you were with him, so now
Yeah.
forget it.
Yeah.
No, bring me that thread.
No, he turned that thread into a tightrope, sweetie, and he held on tight. He's
That's for
like,
sure.
hold on. Christine is calling.
That's
Christine is calling.
yes.
Grab
Yes.
Christina, grab Christina. Normally, I watch images and I know, people will send images like through WhatsApp, etc., on Facebook and inspirational quotes and stuff. And it's really us who let him go. His hand is always there outstretched.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Mm-hmm.
always us who feel we know it all. I mean, hey, we know it all. We're on this earth. We run things here. And yeah.
Absolutely.
So we let go of
Absolutely.
him, but he's never away because people are like, I'm not sensing God. I'm not feeling God. I don't know where he is. I feel lonely. I don't know. He's not answering me. He's not.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
at one point, you would think that way, but no, I know he's working on something big. When he's silent, he's working on something big. The man is
Yes.
busy.
Yes. And you know what, Corinne? Everyone in the Bible had a life that unraveled.
Of
Moses
course.
and David and Joseph. And you know what? The night before the crucifixion, Jesus felt his life unraveled.
Oh yeah. Oh
But
yeah.
every one of these people, every one of the biblical people, and you and me and your listeners,
Yeah.
everybody will face a time in their life, if they haven't already, when their life unravels. And it's great to know that Jesus' hand is always outstretched
Always
and
outstretched.
always willing to wrap his arms around us and say, my child, I am here for you in the
Yeah.
midst of your rejection. When
Yeah.
those who love and are closest to you
Mhm.
forsake you, I
Mhm.
am here for you.
Yeah. And it's not
That's
even
love.
rejection. It's not it's not even rejection, Christine. Nobody can reject you. It is such a funny thing. Nobody could how could somebody reject you? God doesn't reject you.
Mhm.
Okay? So how could another human being reject you as if they made you? They cannot reject something they didn't make. Who the hell are they? Who the
Right.
hell are they? Nobody could reject you. Who came up with this word in the English dictionary to
That's a
create a
great
negative
question.
connotation as if you are nobody, you're unworthy, you're not lovable? Who the hell came up with that? That makes to make you feel that you're nothing and that you shouldn't even exist.
That's a
Yes,
tool of the enemy. That's
yes,
a tool of the enemy. And
yes,
unfortunately, so many women feel that way because instead of getting their self worth from
yes.
the King of Kings and from the Lord, they get their self worth based on what other people say about them. There's a scripture in the book of Kings that says, the king is enthralled with your beauty. Isn't that wonderful?
Excuse you, hell yeah. Of course. Listen, I'm the sexiest thing that walking on this planet.
You are unstoppable. I love that
Yeah,
attitude.
I am the sexiest thing that walk on this planet and nobody outshines me. And right? Because I carry my own light. My light is not your light, etc., etc. So I'm not supposed to be envious of you. You're not supposed to be envious of me, although human qualities do that. But
That's right.
I am not. And I'm not supposed to be envious because God made me in this way. I came out in this form. I look this way. I'm shaped this way. My color is this way. My hair is whatever. This is the perfection He wanted me to be. For whatever reason, I need to appreciate and love it. And while the media and the TV and the movie stars is making people feel less than, I'm not bothered by that because I'll tell you, we know Christina, that they live such a false life that
That's true.
underneath all of that facade, they really are not happy people.
Hmm. You
Really.
know, being in the beauty industry, I see women in here all the time who constantly point out their flaws to me and what they want to change.
Yeah, yeah.
And I just want to put my arms around them and let them know you're beautiful inside. Don't let the mirror define you. Don't let what
No,
other people say about you define you.
yeah.
The king says he's enthralled by your beauty, and
Of
God made you
course.
exactly the way you are. And so, but unfortunately, we as women, especially
Yeah,
when this man said horrible things to me, I did take on that persona. I did feel the rejection. I did feel unlovable.
mhm,
But
mhm.
God was so gracious to change my nature. You know, when Ruth and Naomi,
Mm-hmm.
before she met Boaz, Naomi changed her name to bitter because that's
Right.
how she saw herself. But if we let God change our mindset instead of our circumstances,
That's
then
right.
we become unstoppable.
That's right. That's right. That's right. We are children of a king. And
Hmm.
and you learn from in school, kings have what do you call it? Prince and princesses. So we
Yes,
are prince and princesses. And
joint heirs.
yes,
Mhm.
and princesses become queens.
Yes,
So we are
exactly right.
queens. We are queens in the making, sweetie. Okay, so just in case you missed everything else that we're talking about, you're a queen.
That's right. And I have a crown.
That's right. Oh
And I'm
my
going to straighten
God.
that crown and just walk
Straighten
around
that
with it on.
crown, sweetie. Straighten that crown. You mightn't wear it every day. And even if you don't wear the crown, crown or not, you're still a queen.
That's right. Whether you
You're still a
feel like
queen.
it or not, we don't
Yeah,
go by feelings.
because when you watch those animated shows, and sometimes these queens don't even know that they are queens, you know, and they go about living the lowly life until somebody recognizes them and say, hold on, I realize that you are so and so's daughter, and then
Hmm.
they realize that they are queen.
That's right.
They're a
That's right.
princess they never knew, but they're a princess, but they're living their life. So you don't need a crown to be a queen. You don't need to tell people, hello, tinker, tinker, see my crown up here. No, you carry yourself as a queen, as a princess, whether or not you wear a crown. Yes?
That's exactly right. That's
You're a
exactly right. He's
child of
crowned
a
us with
king.
loving kindness.
You're a child of a king.
That's right. I
Never
am. I
forget
accept
it.
that.
You're a child of a king, and you don't need a man or anybody else to tell you he's going to give you this or give you that. You already have the kingdom.
That's right. I have riches, riches untold, and
Oh my God,
unlimited resources
you're
because I'm a
walking on,
child of the King.
yeah, you're walking on streets of gold. Excuse you. Excuse you. Okay, you just picture that you're walking on streets of gold. Even though on this earth there may not be gold in the ground that you're walking, but you are entitled, that's waiting for you. You're not in want of
That's right.
anything. That's in the 23rd Psalm. You're not in want. You're not supposed to be in want. You have everything.
And when we realize what we have, the resources we have through Christ, that's what makes us unstoppable. That's what changes our mindset. That's what lets us realize it was okay to be rejected by Him because I am accepted by the
Mhm.
King.
But it's
So
protection.
it's,
I want us to switch that to be protected by God. You were not rejected by anybody. You were
mhm,
not rejected. That man rejected himself. He
that's
didn't
right.
reject you.
Oh, yeah, that's a whole nother story,
That's
but
a
that is,
whole other story. He rejected himself because he projected himself on you and then tried to make you feel unworthy.
yes,
Although you had self-worth issues to deal with, that God had to pull you away from that, throw you over the boat for you to realize, hello, Christine, you're my child. I don't want you engaging in this kind of behavior, and hooking up with this person is not going to end up anywhere. You're going to
right.
end up in hurt. So I need to throw you off the boat for you to know that I love you and to love yourself.
And that's why, looking back, I'm so grateful for the experience because it changed me. And like I said earlier, it was protection from what I'm going to be gaining in eternity.
Yes.
So it was a painful experience, but one that I can look back and say I'm thankful for the scars. Scars reminded me of where God took me from and where He brought me to.
Yes.
And I'm grateful for the experience. And I sure hope that my story can encourage other women that
Yes.
when life unravels, there's a restoration that's
Yes.
waiting for them.
Something bigger and better.
That's
Something
right.
bigger and better. No, it's not only one unraveling that happens in life while we're here on this earth.
That's
That rope is going to unravel many times. It's going to start
yes, but
getting thin. Yeah.
if if you can learn the lesson early, the next time the unraveling happens, like I say now that I'll never use the word I love the word broken, and I'm not going to say I'm unbroken because brokenness changed my life. The
Mm-hmm.
next time the unraveling comes, it's going to be a lot easier for me because I've already passed this first test, getting back to what we said in the beginning.
Yes.
It'll
Yeah.
be easier for me because I know who holds my hand.
Oh, yes. So you're stronger and you're going forward with a knowledge, with an increased faith and conviction that I could do this. I could do
Absolutely.
this because I have my father with me. I have the man who protects me, who loves me, who's there with me. He's holding my hand every step of the way, and he has the angels surrounding me. I don't have anything to worry about. Isn't that awesome?
It is awesome. And when you
Isn't
get
that
that really in your spirit and you know that you know that you know that that's true,
yes,
life is amazing.
amazing? You don't worry. Why
Mhm.
worry when you have God?
That's right.
Why? You're not supposed to be worried about nothing. You're supposed to be going through and just say, excuse me, I know you're busy up there, but I just want to let you know this is a problem. Could you take care of that? Okay. I have to get dressed for a party right now.
And leave it in his
I
hands
leave
and go out.
it in.
Yeah,
Yeah. And say,
that's powerful.
yeah, right. I just wanted to let you know in case you missed it, I know you're busy. There's a little problem here, but I have to get dressed to go out. Okay, see you later.
That's exactly right. That's
Yeah,
exactly right.
see you
God
later.
is
I'm looking pretty, I'm looking hot, and I'm going to dance and have fun while you take care
Amen.
of that problem.
And that's the truth. I mean, we laugh about it, we're joking
No,
about it, but it's really
it's
true.
really so to do it. It's really so to do it. I mean, there's no other way. The how is none of our business. You tell the man what you want, and he just deals with it. But you see what we do? We go back and pick it up. We go back and pick up the problem. We have to just say it and let it go. Have that faith and believe. And it's not that the doubt and the stuff, the little fear mightn't come in. As you say, the devil is going to try different ways to get at you. But you have to be convicted that you serve a living God. You
Yes.
serve a living God. And this is what I say outwardly. When I feel those moments come to me of doubt or fear or anything, I'm like, excuse me, you need to hold up. And I say it straight out loud, like I'm saying it to you now. Excuse me, not today. You need to hold up. I serve a true and living God. It's all done. I have to go. I- yeah, because you have to, and people will say, "Oh, are you crazy? You're talking to yourself." Yes, I'm crazy. Yes, I'm talking to myself because you really have to hear yourself.
That's right.
Say the words outward so that the evil one or whatever one people want to call it will know who you stand for. You're not going to quiver at your feet, at buckle at the knees when he tries to stir things up. He must know who you stand for.
That's absolutely correct.
Oh
That's
my
absolutely correct. And we need
God.
to know who we stand for and who we are in Christ. So that was a great, that was just so encouraging what you've said.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And no matter how bad it may seem, even though you say those words and you may think, oh my God, it's not turning around, stand firm, stand firm.
Right.
Because
Speak it out in faith.
speak it out in faith, because what came to me, the image that came to me as I'm talking to you is when Moses was, getting the people out of Egypt,
Hmm.
and the Romans and stuff were behind them with
Hmm.
horses. They are on
Yes.
foot. They're on foot and with horses and stuff to come to kill them. And the people are like, Moses, Moses, and the ocean is in front of them. Where could they go? It's really between the devil and the deep blue sea.
That's right.
And it was like, we dead now. We are so dead. And Moses was like, don't fear. Don't fear. And he just lift up his staff in the
God's
name of
timing
faith.
is impeccable.
Oh, Jesus. And can you imagine the sea just open up for the people alone to go
Mhm.
free and swallow up the Romans? Oh my God, that is what just came to me. The image that just came to me. Oh, I thank
Hmm.
you. I thank you, Jesus. Oh my God, this is awesome. Who is Christine now after going through all of that? Who is
What a
Christine?
wonderful question.
Yes.
I am unstoppable. I am the daughter of the Most High God.
Yes.
I am loved by Jesus. I
Yes.
am accepted. I am worthy. I am qualified. I am an honorable woman of God who serves the Lord with all my heart. And I just love the word unstoppable because I can do all things through Christ. And He has changed me. And you know what? I love who I am.
Yes. Yes.
I love exactly what I have become,
Yes.
and I'm excited about my future and what God has for me. So life is good.
Yes. Amen to that. And you see, I have switched over to sharing your website when life unravels.
Yes, and they can download the first chapter for free if they go to whenlifeunravels.com or christinechristina.com. They'll
Yeah.
be able to download the first chapter. And the book really explains my whole journey. I mean, we barely touched the surface on it, but I've got some really great insight because it was the lessons that God taught me, not, not just from my hand. Sometimes I read the book and I'm amazed at some of the stuff that I wrote because I
Yeah,
know
right?
it's God guiding me.
That's the thing about journaling. You look back and you're amazed at what you've written. So
Hmm.
persons can get the first chapter here free, and of course
Yes.
can look through your website and see the reviews. And if they want to purchase the book, they can get it here on your website.
Yes.
Where do
Yes.
they,
I'm sorry.
where can they get the book if they want to buy it?
Oh, they can buy it right on my book, right on my website, or they can buy it on Amazon. It is on Amazon as well.
Okay, so where do I click to get that? Do you click
See, it
it?
says buy book,
Oh
right?
yes, buy ebook. Oh
Yeah.
yes. So this
Or
is
you
the
can buy
ebook.
the ebook or the regular book, either
Right,
one.
right, right. Fabulous. I love the cover. It's pretty simple and
Thank-
it says it communicates exactly what it is.
Yes.
But the coloring is also fabulous. It shows hope, in the yellow and the green and the blues. It shows hope. Even though the tightrope, is coming thin and is ready to snap,
Hmm.
there is hope. There
There's
is
always hope. Yes. Even
yeah,
when it seems hopeless. My life seemed hopeless to me, but
yeah.
thanks be to God, it was, yes. And I even have a chapter in there called Hope Dispenser. And that's kind of what I'd like to be. I like to offer women who think that life is unraveled and will never be restored. I like to offer them hope because that's what God offered me and it changed my life.
Is to accept Christina, and to be open and willing to accept. And,
Mm-hmm.
we're talking about God, and I like to always invite people to be open to Him. He doesn't need a whole big space, He just needs a crack to enter.
Mm-hmm.
And some people, it's only in desperate times they reach out to Him. He really doesn't care. And I know that. You just need to call His name and He's going to be there for you. Whether you're a believer or not,
That's right.
we are all His children. He doesn't care whether you believe or you don't believe because He knows this.
Mm-hmm.
He knows this. But He loves you whether you're a believer or not. He doesn't care about
Absolutely.
that. So once you call His name, don't matter what circumstances you're in, He is going to stretch His hand out to you. And even after He stretches His hand and you go and do the same thing over and over, He will continue to stretch His hand. But He will ensure that He throws you over that boat several times too.
But it's done out of love. He
Always out
does
of
that
love.
always out of love.
Because
Yes.
if you're not learning the lesson and you keep calling on Him, He's like, no, no, my child, I need to teach you a lesson.
That's right. You'll repeat the class again. It goes back to
Repeat
the
the
beginning. Mm-hmm.
Yes, you'll repeat that class. You'll get a failing grade and you're going to repeat that class again and again and again until you get so fed up and tired and annoyed that you
Do
damn
it right.
well. Yeah. You're like, damn it, I'm going to take extra classes for this. I'm going to do that. I have to pass this class. Yes, yes,
And the
yes.
answers are all in His Word. Just study a little harder.
That's all. Focus on Him. Keep your gaze. When I'm distracted, Christine, and I realize, no, I'm losing touch here. I'm like, Corrine, and I talk to myself out loud a lot. I don't care who's listening. I'm like, Corrine, get grounded. Come. Put my focus back on God. My gaze must be on God.
Amen.
My head is like the monkey chatter. Things are all over the place. I can't focus. No, back on God. Help me. Help me to be focused. Tell me what you need me to do today. I'm always guided by what He tells me. If you don't want me to do anything today, so be it. It's just me and you hanging. But if you want me to do something, tell me and I'm going to do that.
Yes. Yes.
It's a submission. It's a childlike submission.
Absolutely.
You have to be humble and you have to be childlike. He doesn't want you coming to Him as an adult, big and bad, and say, oh, I know this God and do this for me and you're God. And what? No, it doesn't work like that. Humility and submission. Yes? Come to
Absolutely.
Him as a child.
And then we get the blessings. We get the reward.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Awesome, awesome. This has been great. I know we have gone over time. That's okay. This is my show. I can do what I want. And I'm talking about my favorite guy in the world, you know. And like I tell people, I have three men in my life. You have to contend with those three men: God, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
That's right.
So, so when you're coming at me, I have three men already. I mean, I'm rocking it here. I'm rocking it. So that's just what it is. Christina, it's awesome having you.
Well, thank you. This has been great. I've enjoyed it. You've encouraged me, and I really enjoyed our time together, Corrine. Hopefully we can do it again.
Of course, you just let me know. You're doing great stuff. You have to come back on my show. There's too much to talk about.
I would love to anytime.
Yes, and we have to share our story, because even if it's one person we impact in the world, that's all it takes.
That's right.
We don't need the thousands and the masses and the millions. We just need to impact one life. So if we change one life today, that's a blessing, and I'm thankful for you.
Well, thank you so much. This has been great.